Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to be doing a board setup video. The board I've been skating, a chocolate 8.12 with some Thunder 147 highs and some Spitfire classic Formula 4s, Swiss bearings, Shorty's hardware. Board's pretty much toast. Chip in the tail, razor tail, slightly cracked by the back truck. I think it's time to set up a new board. All right, let's get started. Sticker. Got to peel off this warning sticker. Don't like having that on there. All right, grip tape. I always like to put a line on the grip, usually just in front of the back truck. Something like that, just a little line so it's easy to glance down and see where you're at, which side of the board you're on. So I'll tell you a little bit about this board. This board is, typically I like deluxe boards, and every now and then Girl and Chocolate, just because of how flat they are. It's kind of fun to ride those sometimes. And Girl Chocolate always has, you can always get like really short wheelbases in the boards. The wood has been kind of questionable, although I heard they changed wood suppliers over the last like month or two, so that might be different now. But I prefer Deluxe, the wood that Deluxe uses, generator, and I'd like to go with that. So the Otherness boards are made in that same factory, so I thought I'd give it a try. Cool thing about this board is that it also has a short wheelbase, a 14-inch wheelbase, just like the Girl and Chocolate boards. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to give that, be able to ride an 8 1/4 with that nice short wheelbase. See how that goes. The board itself is also a little bit shorter than normal. I usually ride boards that are like 31.6 to about 32 in length. But this time, this Marc Johnson board actually is 31.2, I believe. So it's a little bit shorter than I'm used to riding. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Anyway, let's grip it. Work out these air bubbles. Try to get that line lined up as well as possible. I always leave a little bit of the backing on when I'm doing this on the grip, just so it doesn't accidentally stick down on the wrong end while I'm trying to get that line set up. Then just to have, a fairly straight line, sometimes I'll use the pre-cut edges of the grip tape to line it up. This time around, not really too concerned with how straight the line is. Just want that slight line back there just to mark which side is the tail, especially since this is a new shape I've never ridden before. Although I think it's very similar to Marc's old shape that he had with Chocolate. I think the Geo27, something like that. Except it's just instead of 8.12, it's an 8 1/4. Always file down the edges, make it a little easier to cut. and start in where you have the cut. Cut down the air bubbles, and usually take a little bit of this, kind of go over the edges, kind of give it a little fine tune. If I notice any weird little chunks that are sticking out, just go and trim it up. Otherwise it will end up peeling up later. And I don't want to have to change grip tape. I'd rather wait until I just have to set a new board up. So, let's continue going around. All nice and set up. A little bit of an extra on the nose of the board. A little extra right in there. Wear it down a little bit. Grip tape thumb is not fun. All right. Then, usually just I have like an Allen key or something lying around, so Allen key hardware is useful for me. Take the Allen wrench, just poke it through. Get some of that grip tape dust out of here. And go back over on the other side, just kind of work the way back into those holes so the hardware goes in there nice and easy. And put the hardware in. So I guess maybe talk a little bit about me and why I started doing this. So I've been skateboarding for, let's see, since 1985, so 32 years on a skateboard. And let's get all these in. 32 years on the skateboard. Skating pretty much everything. Street, transition of all kinds. Vert if it's available. And yeah, I guess in skateboarding terms, I'm just an old man coming in at 44 years old. Damn, going on 45 really soon. Back truck. So yeah, I never really took a break from skateboarding. I've been pretty much skating all the time, unless I've been injured or something, and I've had to take some time off. I've had a few gnarly injuries, but compared to most people that have been doing it as long as me, I've gotten off fairly easily, you know, knock on wood. But yeah, over the last few years, I kind of start to notice a lot more aches and pains. That's the downside of getting a little bit older. More aches and pains, but you know, just taking care of myself, stretches, drinking lots of water, especially when I'm out skating. It's kind of helped me prolong my ability to skate. And you know, I'm really thinking that, you know, provided I don't get some super gnarly injury, should be able to keep skating for many years to come. I mean, I don't think I will quit. You know, I've been doing this for 32 years. I don't think I'd be able to quit until I'm physically unable to stand on a skateboard. I just can't imagine life without it. Anyway, got the trucks on. I put them on the right way, unlike some setup videos that I've seen. And then it's time to get these things in. I usually do kind of a cross pattern. I don't tighten them down all the way at first. I just tighten them until they just start to become snug. Kind of do a cross pattern to get them going. And then I'll go in and I'll get them nice and tight. Also in a cross pattern. Thunder trucks, pretty damn durable when it comes to this, but I've had some other brands, some ventures from, you know, many years ago that I actually cracked the base plate by tightening down one corner all the way first. So ever since then, kind of learned my lesson. I always tighten them down in a kind of a cross pattern and never all the way right away. So anyway, so with all these videos, I've been spending some time with, you know, some people that do vlogging and stuff like that, and it's never really been like a big interest of mine, but it is really cool to see just how hard some of these guys work, how much effort they put into making videos daily. And you know, it's something that, I mean, it takes so much. It's something I won't be doing. You know, I've got other things I need to do, but I definitely want to make videos, you know, at least once a week, get something out there. And a lot of it's going to be, you know, there'll be a lot of skateboarding, but I'm also going to have some, you know, some kind of, maybe some setup stuff, but a lot of more like, I guess, knowledge stuff with regards to skateboarding. Some things like just discussing the different, like things like wheelbase and stuff like different board sizes, different truck sizes, wheelbases, and what that all means. You know, what does it kind of come down to? You know, when it's time to go and find a board, set up a board for yourself. So let's see. Let's put some new wheels on. I love new wheels after they've been skated for about 15 minutes. It doesn't get much better. So I've got some 52 millimeter Spitfire Formula 4. These are the Don Vanderlinden models. It's the Radial slim wheel. I like the wheel a lot because it's a thin wheel. You know, if I compare it to this classic slim, just about the same width, but it has a lot more riding surface. So I get a little bit more grip when I want it, but it also kind of just, the slide on these kind of feel a lot nicer than than thinner wheels. I don't know, not really sure why, never really thought about it. And here we go, the Bones bearings that I had cleaned in that prior video. These are the Swiss Super 6. And let's get these in here. Oops. I always keep the washers on, and I always use spacers as well. Set this up so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Bearing spacers, I don't know, I've always used them. I think it actually kind of helps keeps the bearings in line in the core of the wheel. Let's see, when I put these on, I always tighten them up a little tight, just to kind of make sure they're properly seated and in contact with that bearing spacer. Then I loosen them up a little bit. Kind of like to have just a small amount of play in there. Oops. And another thing that I've just always done as well is I like to have the graphic side in. I like to have just a nice clean, plain look on the outside of the wheels. Just some weird preference or tick, if you will. All right, so here it is. This is the Otherness Marc Johnson 8 1/4 deck with some Thunder 148s. Got some Spitfire wheels. Got some Bones bearings in there. Mob grip. I think it's time to maybe head down to the Fremont skate park and grab a session. Should be dry there. Maybe stop and grab some food on the way. Let things dry out a little bit and have a session. See how this thing rolls.
What was that?
Caused all that pain. No, get that thing away from me. Gotta be kidding me.